KWS is a global seed producer. We attach great importance to producing seeds of the highest quality. The path from planning through field multiplication and seed conditioning to delivery is subject to the highest standards. Did you know that it takes over 2 years for this maize seed to be delivered to the farmer? Find out what is behind it. Let's start at the beginning. Almost 100% of the maize varieties grown today are hybrids. Hybrids have characteristic advantages such as significantly higher yield potential and pronounced robustness. To produce a specific hybrid, its parental lines must be crossed. Multiplying a distinct hybrid requires sufficient parental seed, which must be produced at least a year before. Sales and multiplication planning, therefore, must take place much earlier than the hybrid seed multiplication in the field. For future-oriented planning, all relevant information are brought together. Results from research and breeding, strategic goals of the company, production and location factors, and the sales planning of the individual markets. All these factors determine the production planning of the hybrid maize seed. Field multiplication takes place in various regions of Europe. Only climatically favorable sites, predominantly between 44 and 48 degrees northern latitude, are most suitable. Maize is a monoecious bisexual crop. That means the maize plant produces a male inflorescence, the tassel, and a female one, the silk on the maize cobs. To produce hybrid maize, the pollen of the male line must fecundate the cobs of the female line. For this to happen, the parent lines are sown alternately next to each other. The cultivation scheme varies depending on the specific variety. Because maize typically is pre-male, which means that the male inflorescence is formed before the female one, the parent lines are sown with a time delay. The aim is for the male lines to flower at the same time as the female lines are ready to take up the pollen, to ensure optimum fecundation of the ear corn. This scheme shows a sowing of a field multiplication at a ratio of 4:2+1. In the given example, the multipliers start by sowing the female rows. As soon as the female plants emerge, the first male rows are sown. As the first male row emerges, the second one is sown. And when the second male row has emerged, the last male row is sown. Plant protection, fertilization, as well as sufficient water supply are essential for the success of the maize seed multiplication. Our aim is to secure yields and consequently to ensure a sustainable seed supply. The efficient and careful use of natural resources is at the forefront to this. Before the female plants push the inflorescences and start shedding pollen, the tassels have to be removed. This process we call detasseling. It is a time-sensitive key measure during field multiplication and requires utmost diligence for ensuring excellent genetic purity. There must be no cross-pollination with other pollen. Therefore, the first male rose ideally flowers a little before the female rows are ready for conception. Early pollen shedding protects the crop from foreign pollen and thus ensures the genetic purity of the seed. The upper part of the female plant is removed mechanically or by hand, usually cutting or pulling the tassels of the female rows. This process is repeated several times to ensure a complete castration of all the female plants. The repetition is necessary because the plants develop at different speeds according to the given site conditions and therefore push their tassels at different times. The synchronization of the male pollen shedding when the female plants are mature to accept the pollen is of utmost importance for supporting a successful fecundation. As only the female lines carry the desired hybrid maize seed, the male lines are eliminated after flowering, latest before the harvest. Starting from mid-August, Of course, depending on region and variety, the seed maize is ready for harvest. Harvesting begins at a moisture content of 38% in the cob, typically starting with the early maturing varieties. The seed maize harvest takes several weeks and must be completed before the first frost occurs. The maize is harvested with so-called ear corn pickers, collecting the ear corn in whole and transporting those to the seed processing plant. Arriving at the seed plant and right before drying the ear corn, the husks are removed. This is done mechanically by husker machines with counter-rotating rolls stripping off the husks from the ear corn. The dehusked cobs are transported to sorting tables. Here, each batch of the seed maize is carefully checked and polyfecundated, and moldy cobs are sorted out. So-called off-types are also removed, making this a final quality check for genetic purity. Next, the ear corn is delivered to the dryer houses. The drying process is carried out as efficiently as possible. Depending on the initial moisture content of the product, the air temperature and humidity, the drying process takes up to several days until the target moisture content is reached. The maize seed is dried gently with warm air at a maximum temperature of 38 degrees, harmless for maintaining excellent seed quality. Once the ear corn is dried, the grains are separated from the cob. This process is called shelling. The supposed waste product, the empty cobs separated from the seed, are subject to various purposes. For example, they can be used as biofuel or agents in several industrial applications. After shelling and a first pre-cleaning step, the dried and shelled seed runs through various cleaning and sizing steps using screening, gravimetric and optical methods. Those activities aim at preparing homogenic seed lots meeting the requirements for excellent planting and singulation results with today's modern planters in the fields. The processes require a lot of experience from the operators. Cleaning and fractionizing the seed in an optimum way by size and shape while respecting seed quality parameters at the same time. To provide good protection and optimum conditions for the young seedlings to develop, KWS invests major resources and know-how in the development of highly effective seed treatments. Initio is a company's umbrella brand that lays a foundation for strong and healthy plants. The designed recipe enables precise plant protection enhancement, supporting the plant with pinpoint accuracy. The application of the treatment is the final step in preparing the seed for sale. After almost 2 years, the hybrid seeds are now ready to be bagged and delivered to the retailer or farmer. KWS puts great emphasis on exceptionally high quality. All processes and products are bound to the highest requirements, meaning that our production standards exceed the legal requirements by far. We want to provide our farmers only with the best seed and thus support them in producing high-quality products for all of us.